What's good, superstars? Back with another VV video. You got Superstar Joe. You got Superstar Rob. And how's it going, Rob?
Pretty good, you?
You're looking different, Rob. You're looking different, guys. If you're new here, do not forget, become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell notification so you know whenever we post. Whenever we're wearing different hats on our head all the time. I mean, we got all kinds of different merch at this point, but this one here is very, very exclusive, very, very special. If you want to become a superstar, VIP $2.99 a month, hit the join button down below. Get one of these stars next to your name. Level up through the stars. Get to that super duper rare. That's 2 years of membership. And with that, one of these hats comes your way. Please, please, please make sure that you, if you are a super duper rare, you get your addresses to us either in a DM, in a Discord DM, somewhere that we can make sure that we get your address so we can send you one of these hats for being a loyal supporter. You don't have to do anything else. You can't even buy these hats if you wanted to. The only way is for those who have been supporting us for over 2 years at this point. Crazy that there's even those many people that exist. But we're going to definitely be looking into getting this out to you as soon as possible now that we've got the samples in, and they look amazing, I must say.
That's right. This is the reason why we waited. Is we want to get these samples first. I think they're looking pretty good, Joe. Let's go big screen here, guys. Take a look at it. You can see you got that. I mean, actually, somebody requested once a black Superstar Money hat. But when I first saw this, it kind of reminded me of the Pittsburgh Penguins a little bit, just because of the yellow and the black. But this is sick. It's actually so clean. So it's a nice black hat. Again, some people were like, you know, I'm not vibing with the pink and blue. But you know what? This here is exclusive. It's only for those who have supported us for 2 years on the membership. Like, that's insane. So there's about 33 or 34 people that are eligible, assuming, you know, not all of them are going to convert it. This is going to be a really rare hat. It's not an easy hat to get. So,
I mean, you might say that this is an exclusive club. Kind of bringing us into the topic of the video. But before we talk about that, I just want to make sure that anybody who's new here, you can follow us on X, follow us on Instagram, join our Discord. We have lots of exclusive chats to different things, different projects. We have a VV chat there, OMI chats, all different kinds of chats. And we are willing to have chats for any type of token gating within the projects that we cover as well. Make sure you reach out to us, and we can always facilitate when it comes to utility, because we are big proponents of utility. Absolutely. This video is sparked by one club in particular. Rob, I think you're going to pull up your screen here first. And shout out to Mr. MC1 for putting together the Marvel Digital Fan Club. This is based off of the Marvel logo that was dropped. And maybe you can go through the bullet points here quickly.
Yeah, so Mr. MC1 saying the Marvel Digital Fan Club. It's a fan club by fans, and so we build it. Not sure anyone can stop us from building one. Definitely, I don't think anybody can stop the fans from building a fan club. We plan to have Marvel content and alpha shared by deep subject matter experts in the group. I don't know what he means by that. Maybe deep subject matter experts, I'm assuming, is super fans. But that's one thing he has. We plan to have fan appreciation parties like the ones I have for the VV Gold logo for people in the group and the artists, etc. we seek to appreciate. We plan to buy, not get for free, art that we identify is rare and a great deal for the group. Similarly, merch. We will secure stuff at Comic-Cons for giveaways. Don't need free stuff. It's a fandom built with deep passion, with people that care and not motivated by any malice. None in the design group are flipping. Thank you to so many for volunteering to be in the design team with a deep commitment. Thank you to the many who have shared ideas from the outside. We'll continue to solicit ideas on how to design the community and create utility in smart ways that are not tied to being given stuff for free, guys. Utility is key here. Charity is an important part of our mission. We have a passion, and we will build in a clean and fair way. Always had a reputation for it. Stop imagining the worst, stop hating. He said token gated channels, and he said token gated view versus pad. So when I read this, my mind went straight to an old club that started way back in the early days, which is the Blue and Beta Club, if you remember. It was one of the rarest.
424.
It was 424, Club 424. One of the rarest collectibles on VV. I had one of them. You had one of them. We were in the club. We were there to support it. But it never really took any steam. I mean, the goal of the club was to ultimately get like Universal on board to see if there was some kind of utility. There just seems to be a push for fan clubs to try and get utility. Utility is king. We are 100% in the boat that utility is everything. We want utility to be the way that drives this space forward in the future. So, I mean, what Mr. MC1's doing, taking the lead on this, you got to give him credit. He's trying to find ways to bring utility now. What it looks like it's the Marvel logos, I believe, are going to be the the access, right? You got to own those Marvel logos. And it's also no different than the Gold Dragon Club, right? They had a collectible that they love. They decided to start things up, and they do the really good job. They've given away crazy stuff through our channel. They've given away like $7,000 hotel stays. Like, it's crazy what they've done. So I'm on board with this. I think Mr. MC1, absolutely. If it's built by the fans, no one could stop it. It becomes kind of like create your own adventure. You can decide where you want this to go. And yeah, Joe, what do you think about it?
I think that the surprising thing was that Mr. MC1 got a lot of hate on his initial post. I mean, a lot of people not happy that he was making this club with a certain collectible and not maybe people who collected the most Marvel collectibles in the first place. I think there's a lot of hate maybe in the wrong place at this point. I think when we see the ability to have self-custody of a token, be it the token on the chain or a ghost token that represents that token, I think that's when these types of utilities will start to really make a lot more sense, because you'll be able to prove it a little bit easier. I know you can use Stacker right now to confirm if people hold X amount. And I think right now the magic number seems to be if you have 10 Marvel logos, then that might be the club entry. We don't have exact details on this. Mr. MC1 is just spitballing out loud and getting absolutely, crucified for some of these innovative ideas. I mean, he's coming up with ideas. If you read this, he's not even trying to sell anything. Like, it's to make you get things for free. He's saying this will provide you access. And that's almost like the whole point of this space, to have a collectible, to have a token that unlocks an experience. There needs to be more of that. I was very excited to hear about this coming from somebody very tied or connected to the Veve team. Obviously, close relationships with David. We've seen him hosting parties for Veve, doing a lot of that. So to see him spearheading this, I was very excited. And I went out and I bought 10 Marvel logos. Probably paid way too much for them. But you know what? Like, I got to put my money where my mouth is. All we talk about is utility on this channel. And if there's going to be any type of experience, not even free things or whatever, if there's going to be any type of experience tied to something Marvel related, and if Marvel even ever catches wind about it, I would love to be a part of initiating whatever it is that we're able to build here with this club. So Sanjay, shout out to you. Sleeping Comics is also involved here, and we know Sleeping Comics is a huge fan or a friend of the channel. So that was also very bullish for me. But I mean, something that you don't get every day. You mentioned the Gold Dragon Club. Like, that's a collectible I'm never going to sell, it seems like, at this point. I mean, they just continue to provide massive experiences, massive utilities. The thing is, right now we have these one-off giveaways, raffles, things like that. But there needs to be more. And the only way for there to be more is for more people to start to create these things that make the tokens matter. They matter for a reason. To be upset that he's doing this, I think, is kind of just selfish. Some people don't want to spend $1,000 or whatever it is to get into the club, or to get into the 10 logo club. We don't even know if it's 10 logos. It could be one. We don't know what the rules are yet. We do not have any insider information on this either. Sanjay has not given us like the full scope of what they're going to do here. I like the idea. I like the initiative. I like the fact that we're going to try and make some noise for Marvel to pay attention to. And I mean, if that happened and I wasn't part of it, I would be really, really upset. So happy to be in whatever this club is until we see where it goes. And I hope that we don't stop pushing the envelope and pushing the borders, because this is where the difference in the space is made. Veve, they bring the IP, they've brought it to the space. They have yet to provide that utility for Disney at Marvel. Obviously, they have all the red tape and all that stuff, but community driven, maybe that's something that could spark some eyeballs over at corporate level. And you never know who's watching. You never know who's paying attention. You never know who has what connection to whoever. So if you build it, maybe they will come.
So I think the community also just likes being part of clubs. Like, there was a semi-Fastos club back in the day when everybody was just like walling Fastos at like 999, whatever it was. And it was like, I think 30% of the float or something like that was all that. But like, I think the community loves these things. Now, in terms of Marvel catching wind of this, personally, I don't think Marvel will get on board with any fan club. And, you know, what if they did? That's a different story. Like, you know, if we're going to speak in speculation and do some what ifs, What if Marvel did catch wind of it? Then I think that this would take this to a whole new level, because the utilities that someone could provide now is greatly extended. It comes to maybe early access for movies. It can become, within, some kind of Marvel, let's say somewhere in the parks. You know how the parks have different Marvel rides, and you could do different things. Maybe there could be an exclusive thing for this club. These are these crazy what ifs, which I personally think are unlikely to happen, but they don't necessarily need to happen. I think that a community-driven utility can be enough to make the people in that club happy, and also bring utility to a collectible, and actually leverage NFT technology for ultimately what it's supposed to do, which is verification of ownership. That is the whole point of this. So yeah, if they can do a club and it's a Marvel-based club, and even if it's community-driven, if there's enough people that are interested in this and they actually are actively trying to push the envelope, and they're actively putting things out, putting in the time and the effort to do continuous utility through experiences, like he mentioned, it doesn't need to be free stuff, but it needs to be just something for the community to get involved in. I think that you'll actually see this being very successful long term.
Like, if you look over here, shout out to Rich, puts out this post. Does this strongly indicate the Veve fam agree that utility is king? The prices are pumping on speculation of utility, not FA tag, not the IP without utility. Obviously, this was, I think, a $15 drop. It was a secret drop. It went dropped by accident, I think, even early before the Comic-Con. So this is something that he's saying, like, have you noticed? If you look at the Veve gold and silver original logo, the one that you get all these freebies whenever you go to Comic-Con events or whatever other events, and there's other kinds of utilities, party access, all this stuff. You can see that reflected in the price. That's why we are so bullish on utility being the next leg up. I still don't think that access in parks and these other things that you mentioned are going to be what this club is about. I think that would have to be something that Marvel does completely on their own if they ever do that. But I think what this is it's like a beta test of utility. So if you, like you mentioned, if you get people who are interested here and you see price appreciation, maybe that's something that they start to pay attention to. Oh, why is the Marvel logo so expensive? Why are we getting so many secondary fees on this Marvel logo? What's happening? And then they start to realize, like, oh, if we actually do have any kind of experience, that will benefit us in the long term with market sales, etc. So, I mean, it goes back to this. If there's any potential for Marvel to pay attention to a utility initiative, I want to be a part of it. I stand by that. Not saying that there has to be freebies, not saying that there has to be airdrops, not saying that there has to be access to events or anything like that. But I think something here could be made that is unique. Shout out to Sanjay for sticking his neck on the line and trying to put it together and taking the heat from people who maybe can't afford to get into such an exclusive club. But you got to understand from his point of view too, he's making it where if it is 10, that is not the easiest way to enter. You don't want people buying and selling. If you look, he's not listing any of his. We haven't listed ours. Mine. It's something that we believe in strongly for the like you said, the ownership and the proof of ownership. And if we can push that envelope, and if somehow Veve can have tokens associated that prove that, I mean, obviously we're leaning on Sanjay here to do his analysis of who owns what. But if we're able to have that verification process that guarantees, like, this person owns this many, so they can now participate in X, Y, and Z, I think we're onto something, and we're starting to get there. And maybe it's not Marvel that pays attention. Maybe it's Veve that pays attention to whatever comes from this club, and they start to do more with their IP, and then maybe it becomes a melting pot, and lots of this is happening. Gold Dragon Club's in there doing it, and they say, like, okay, all this stuff that is, like, not the most, maybe the most expensive, but the most interacted with, when there's millions of collectibles on the app, and these are the ones that are at the top of the list, and secondary market fees and all this stuff are coming from these collectibles. Why? That might be a question that starts to get asked. What is going to generate the most secondary market sales? And once they start to realize that's utility, I think we're going to have a game-changing event.
So one thing I want to circle back on is what Rich said there.
Yep.
Rich's IQ is like another level. Like he's just like, he sees things so in advance as everybody else. And like the first thing he saw when he saw this whole initiative was the price of the Marvel logo and what utility could do. It's like some jet fuel on Veve. If you're going to give utility to anything on Veve, it's like a jet fuel. It just pumps the prices of whatever that is. So yeah, I agree. Utility is king. Like anything that has utility, it's going to help in terms of that. I'm on the board. Utility is king. We had a lot of talk about utility, about like pre-announcing utility. If you're a Veve, like you can't just sell it and then afterwards give it utility. So there's maybe some restrictions and rules to that. But I think Rich is on to something with this, is that utility will be what the people want in the future. I think the masses, the new users, this is what they want. We just did a video about self-custody, which is important because it's going to eventually be the key to utility, but all roads eventually lead to utility. That's ultimately the point, which is that utility is the key. Utility is the king, that in time, people will want these things for the utility that they could provide, more so, I think, than just their historical relevance. So, yeah, I think Rich is on point that
it doesn't have to be the Marvel logo. I mean, if you don't like it, if you think it's too high of an entry price, there's millions of collectibles now. I mean, pick a collectible, drive an experience, drive a club, make your own thing. Like, just prove that this space is here to stay. Make your friends jealous. Make people around you want to participate in the space by understanding what's so great about digital collecting. And maybe sometimes it's not just holding the thing for 50 years and hoping that, trust me, bro, it's going to go up in value. Maybe there's a way to make these things kind of a lot more fun and a lot more important to everyday person. And when you get names like Marvel or Disney associated with these utilities, I think that's when people will start to pay attention. Maybe they won't understand what a Veve logo is. Maybe they won't understand what a Superstar Money Gold logo is, even though they're going to want these hats just when they see them because they look ridiculously sick. But yeah, I think if you start to get these big brands on board with that type of a mission, I always said the Pinnacle has the best, I think right now, the best opportunity because they are strictly Disney IP. They're attached to the pin trading aspects. Put a digital pin board anywhere in any park, and that becomes the experience. No extra things are needed. You're still participating in the exact same way you're participating now, but now you maybe have an interactive point where more people have access. That's how I see the space moving forward. That's the utility that we're talking about. Ongoing experience utility. Whoever figures it out first is going to be very, very happy, I think.
Yeah, and by the way, these hats are ridiculously sick. And the best part about it is like you can't buy this unless like you actually cannot buy it because we're giving it away. So like you have to literally, it's a time-based model. You gotta be a member for 2 years to even get this. It's priceless. You can't even buy one of these hats. So like this is an example, I think, where you have the Marvel Club. It's the same kind of idea where if you can give some kind of exclusiveness on the merch side or whatever, as long as people, I think, are getting something for it, they will be happy that they participated. Ultimately, though, the gold standard would be utility directly from the licensor, but we continue to wait for that. So, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you guys think about the Marvel Digital Fan Club? Do you think this will be a success? What kind of ideas do you have? Let us know in the comments below. If you haven't already, don't forget, become a superstar, smash subscribe button, join the Superstar fam, hit the bell, be sure to see every single video, every other maybe 2, maybe 3 days. And also, thank you to our VIPs, 2 months, star beside your name, access to spreadsheet giveaways, guys. Thank you so much. Take care. See you next one. Bye.
Love you. Bye.